Hey guys, this is Calvin, CEO at Improver. In this video, we're going to discuss what is continuous improvement software. Let's jump right into it. CI software applies the latest developments in technology to accelerate lean and continuous improvement. This includes virtual reality, augmented reality, edge computing, robotic process automation, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, and any other advanced technology that your organization might be thinking can help to improve performance. When it comes to CI software in specific, we're looking at applying this advanced technology toward accelerating a culture of lean and continuous improvement. Now, when you make the connection between the tech and the CI software, what it allows you to do is to automate many of the administrative aspects of building a CI or Kaizen culture. This could mean promoting success stories, reporting results to leadership, rolling up business impact, rewards and recognition, training and development, AI coaching, improvement ideas, countermeasures, centralizing projects and tools, and CI knowledge management, just to name a few. Let's take a moment to go through each of these in just a little bit more detail. There's somewhat of a consensus that leadership support is a challenge among continuous improvement professionals. Software can be applied to share and promote success stories organically with leadership and other key stakeholders. This all helps to build a culture of recognition and motivation. It enables organization-wide knowledge sharing. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. It reinforces a continuous improvement mindset. It strengthens engagement and collaboration across teams. And last but not least, it makes the impact of continuous improvement visible to leadership. Which leads me to my next point. This type of software can report the results to leadership more effectively than manual processes. A lot of time with manual processes, you're doing either quarterly report outs on all the Kaizen activity that's taking place. You got to summarize, you got to leave out key details. There's no drill down into the actual what happened on the shop floor, what specific changes were made. You got before and after pictures. You got data that may or may not be accurate or useful anymore. And you're sort of pulling all this together in a quarterly report and sharing it with leadership. With software, though, you get instant real-time visibility. You get accuracy and consistency of data. You get speed and efficiency, right? You're no longer spending days, perhaps weeks, updating quarterly reports. This is all just happening automatically or with just a few clicks here. And you get insight and storytelling power. Again, software can do these things better than someone could do manually. And the net effect of it is you're bringing leadership along for the ride, the CI journey, in a way that just can't be done manually. So as a natural extension to this, what CI software can also do for you is to roll up company-wide impact and communicate this automatically. Again, you're getting more to a real-time effect where those company leaders are being reminded of what CI is doing for them, right? So they never have to ask the question of, what have you done for me lately? They already know what you've done for them just today or perhaps yesterday, and they can see how it's advancing their own agenda or the business's agenda. Just to name a few points here: actionable insight and continuous learning, scalable engagement across the organization, a clear link between CI and business results, real-time, reliable data, and of course, unified, enterprise-wide visibility. The psychological impact of this constant feed of we are getting better every day has a transformative effect on the culture of continuous improvement. We've talked about how CI software can help build leadership engagement. Now let's talk about how applying technology in this way can help engage the frontline workforce. A lot of you may be trying to build and deploy a rewards and recognition program, and if so, then you understand how challenging it could be to be consistent, be fair, to recognize everybody on time in a way that feels a little bit like instant gratification, right? Get that instant pat on the back when you've done a good job regarding continuous improvement. Well, software happens to be able to do that a lot more effectively than a person can. Right? You get real-time recognition, consistent and fair recognition, fair being the key word there. Almost anybody who has tried to do a CI gamification or rewards and recognition program knows how sometimes you get feedback that so-and-so got recognized and I didn't, and we did a similar thing. What's up with that? When you can offload that to the technology, you remove that bias and that feeling of unfairness that some people may have. There's team-wide visibility. Everybody can see what everyone else is doing and what they're getting rewarded for doing it. And of course, data-driven insights. It allows you to make the connection between what you're doing that's stimulating more continuous improvement activity, what leaders can do to stimulate more. It almost gives you a lever that you can pull to speed things up when it comes to continuous improvement. This could be an incredible tool, especially for leaders that want to go faster. Another great application for technology as it regards to continuous improvement is training and development provided on demand. In most companies that don't have a solution like this, the employees or the people interested in continuous improvement might spend weeks or months or perhaps quarters or even years waiting for that next root cause analysis training to be offered or waiting for that next green belt program training to be offered. What technology brings is it enables people to get that kind of training on demand. Whenever they're ready for it, whenever they have time, whenever it fits their schedule, their lifestyle, they can move forward and get what they need on demand. So what the software does is it creates a self-sustaining learning culture. It allows for measurable skill development, right? You can see who's completed what courses, what grade they got, and so forth. You can ask follow-up questions and make sure they understand the key points from the learning, and then they can apply what they've learned to their actual work situation. And of course, training is delivered on demand. What is lean about? What is continuous improvement about? If it's not about transitioning to a just-in-time operating system. What this does is allows your continuous improvement function to put those same just-in-time concepts into practice within the operations of continuous improvement. Key call out here, leaders develop people who develop processes that serve the customer. Since we're talking about people development here, we have to talk about coaching. With a well-built CI software, AI coaching is standardized and scaled up. Imagine every employee in your company walking around with Taiichi Ono or the world's leading continuous improvement coach in their pocket. Technology is now allowing for this kind of thing to happen. It all comes down to developing people faster. Right? And what software can do is standardize the coaching process, making sure all the right boxes are being checked. It enables a scalable coaching model. Everybody's getting a similar way of coaching, similar process, and using the tools in a similar way. Ultimately, this adds up to reinforcing scientific or continuous improvement thinking for everyone. So you got coaches to help you set goals, select the right lean tool, scope out a project, and even use those tools more effectively. CI software is now enabling all this to happen in your organization. Now let's talk about the idea generation, solicitation, management process within your company. Right? If you've got a manual process, you're probably using some type of suggestion box. It's sitting in the break room. Maybe it's sitting in the main hallway that everybody passes through. How do you get that into everyone's hands, right? Because if they're not walking by that suggestion box that day, they're probably not thinking about making a suggestion, right? They need something that they can access in the line of doing the work. So the moment that idea pops up in their head, they can take a pause, they can open up their app or open up the software, they can key in their idea, key in the impact they think it'll make, hit submit, and it funnels right into a well-built management system that you can take, you can evaluate those ideas, and then convert those ideas into bigger projects if they do pass through to the next stage. It also allows you to click a button, send immediate feedback to the submitter. Because they need to know either it's going to be, yes, we're going to implement this idea or not, and here's why, right? And maybe that'll encourage them to think of more ideas, because we all know what happens with suggestion boxes is if you do get people to submit, they end up waiting forever. They don't hear anything back. They give up on the idea that the suggestion box even works. With software, it makes the submission process fast, simple, and accessible. It ensures visibility and transparency of all ideas. It accelerates evaluation and implementation. It measures participation, engagement, and impact, right? You can see if it's working. You can see if people are engaging. It strengthens engagement and recognition culture. Just getting a, hey, thanks for your submission is a huge step beyond where you see most of these suggestion box programs go. And lastly, it encourages cross-collaboration of ideas. Okay, so we talked about engaging and generating support from leadership. We talked about engaging the frontline workforce. Now let's talk about some specific things that the software can do or automate for you as a continuous improvement leader. You're probably highly interested in creating a data-driven culture. What CI software can do is integrate with your BI tools to automate countermeasures. And what I mean by countermeasures is automatically assign follow-ups or tools or projects or resources based on triggers that you might set in your BI. If you don't have a software to do this, you're doing it manually, which means you're constantly looking at the BI data and then feeding that back into creating CI projects or assigning tools, and you're doing all this manually, essentially, right? Some people use visual management boards and do sort of a red, yellow, green metrics type of thing, and then they assign follow-ups to the red metrics or perhaps even the yellow metrics. Imagine software that fully automates this process where it's looking into your BI system. Whenever a metric fails to meet expectations, it automatically assigns a lean tool such as a 5Y or a value stream map or a DMAIC or a SIPOC or whatever you got, and it assigns it to a certain person by a certain deadline. This is all able to be fully automated using continuous improvement software. Now, what this does for you, though, is faster problem detection and response, standardized escalation process. You've got data-driven problem solving, continuous learning from incidents, and it frees people up from running reports and trying to find issues to delivering more value. You're leveraging your existing technology infrastructure to plug in new infrastructure to automate the process of applying lean tools to real-time business issues. Now, if you're trying to implement continuous improvement or lean or Six Sigma manually, what you probably have is an entire file directory full of 5Ys and fishbone analysis and value stream maps and all the different tools you've used to actually do continuous improvement. If someone in some other part of the company, maybe across the state, maybe across the country, maybe across the world, is looking for that 5Y you did 6 months ago, A, they probably wouldn't even know it exists. B, they have no idea where to find it other than going and looking for you and asking you where it's at. And C, of course, they would have no idea if that 5Y really applies to the problem that they're having. And D, of course, if you leave the company or run for president or do something different with your life, all of that knowledge and all that connectivity and all that application goes with you. This, of course, can be extremely detrimental to building a continuous improvement culture, which is what we set out to do. So these next couple of slides talk about centralizing projects and tools and creating a knowledge base for all of your continuous improvement efforts and activities. Of course, if you're truly doing this manually, then you've got binders of projects, which nobody does that anymore. But when you've got centralized projects, tools, and data and all the rest, you've got one source of truth for all of your improvements. You've got seamless integration with other systems. Again, you got to be on tech to connect with all the other tech, right? This is where continuous improvement gets to be on the leading edge of the tech revolution instead of lagging further and further behind over time. We've got several other great points here. Feel free to read through those and try to make sense of it. But the last one I'll mention here is, of course, faster execution and collaboration. By moving your continuous improvement initiative to a software platform, you can essentially take advantage of all the technology that software can bring to advance your continuous improvement agenda. And the last slide here, again, is about knowledge management. The way I look at knowledge management is like you're standing on the shoulders of giants. Instead of having to learn everything from scratch every time, right? you're actually tapping into a super brain that has been built up across the entire organization. The old school method is, hey, let's get together. Let's pull 6 or 7 people into a conference room. Let's do this value stream map. If you are not in that room at that time, you have very little knowledge or understanding what took place there. You were essentially excluded from the process that took a selected group of people from not really understanding the process in the end and understanding the biggest opportunities for improvement to a future state idea of what the ideal workflow would look like. Traditionally, we just take a big old sheet of butcher paper and draw out all the shapes and icons and move things around, maybe with sticky notes or something like that, to go from current state map in a value stream mapping example to a future state map. With software, you can go through that entire process digitally. You can share key learnings. You can input notes. You can develop follow-up actions. You can forward it to other people so they can collaborate. So now the collaboration is going beyond the 4 walls or the confines of a certain geography. People can collaborate better. They can share ideas. You're capturing institutional knowledge because that knowledge is stored and remembered forever in a software system. It's now searchable by keyword, or even AI can look into the data. And if you're having a conversation with AI and you bring up a certain topic or something like that, the AI can pull up previous applications of lean tools and projects and so forth. In summary, continuous improvement is now being managed and remembered and stored by a system instead of an individual. This is a lot more reliable. This is something people can trust. When it comes to building a continuous improvement culture, you need systems that are going to sustain and stand the test of time. In conclusion, what continuous improvement software does for you is provide the digital infrastructure needed to build and sustain a continuous improvement culture. And we define a CI culture as everybody, every day, everywhere. This includes engaging leadership better, empowering more people, and executing more improvement, allowing organizations to achieve bigger goals in less time. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a presentation on what is continuous improvement. I am Calvin L. Williams, the founder and CEO of Improver Inc. You can learn more about the Improver continuous improvement platform at improver.com, or you can join our community of continuous improvement professionals at Improver University. That's university.improver.com. Have an amazing week. Let's get better every day. Thank you.